it's Dr. Hillary from Rangeline Chiropractic. I'm here with my friend Laura from Lifetime Wellness. Hey, Laura.
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful. We are going to talk today about your business, Lifetime Wellness, and a hot topic of electrolytes. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, sure. So like you said, my business is called Lifetime Wellness. It's a health coaching business. I am a certified functional medicine health coach, which is just a big fancy name for saying that I like to work with people in all aspects of their health. I work with people on their nutrition, their sleep, stress, movement, just trying to get everything in balance so that you can really feel your best. I typically work with overwhelmed women that are looking to lose weight, become pain-free, and gain energy. And I've got a great program that at the end of this, I'll kind of post that information down there in the chat so that everybody can have that. But that's kind of in a nutshell what Lifetime Wellness is, what health coaching is. Yeah.
Awesome. We were chatting the other day about electrolytes. Tell us why you recommend electrolytes to your clients. And I know you've done some research. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's funny. Electrolytes, I think it's a little bit of a buzzword. That's kind of what we were talking about the other day. It is kind of this okay, do you really need electrolytes? And you could go to Amazon, type in electrolytes, and you come up with, 50 different things. And so it's like, what's good, what's not? What I tell people is electrolytes are those, the potassium, calcium, sodium, all that stuff that our bodies need to run properly. The problem is that if you're doing something like an intermittent fasting, which I know you guys put your clients on a lot of the time, if you're doing intermittent fasting, if you're living a low carb lifestyle, your electrolytes get out of balance very quickly. I'm sure that your followers know or have heard of the keto flu or the low carb flu, that just awful feeling. You get headaches, you get achy. Well, what people don't realize is a lot of times that's simply because your electrolytes are out of balance. Pregnant women, it's a huge thing for pregnant women too. Talk about, you get leg cramps. I don't know about you. When I was pregnant, I would get these awful calf cramps.
Yes.
And it was like you'd stand up in the middle of the night. My husband was like, "What, are you in labor or something?" No, it's just a calf cramp. Well, it's because your electrolytes get out of balance. And so you'll hear people say, oh, your muscles are so, go eat a banana, tons of potassium. That's great. But the problem is that you need a balance of the electrolytes, not just potassium, not just calcium. And so what electrolyte powders can do is they can help you balance out your electrolytes. I often, and I actually have one right here, the brand that I really like is this Element one. The reason I love it is because I try to try the things before I have my patients do it. And it's a little bit salty. It takes a little while to get used to. But the thing that I love about it is if a client comes to me and says, "Man, I have a horrible headache. I'm staring at the screen all day, or I'm really trying to eat healthy, but I can't do this." It's, "Hey, try this and see how it works." And I'm telling you, people are like, this is a game changer. They drink it and it automatically makes them feel better.
Mm-hmm. Like when they're like, I stretch and my legs still cramp up. And they're like, "I'm drinking a ton of water." Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, that's a red flag. You're probably drinking too much water and you're flushing out all your electrolytes. So you have to replenish them.
Absolutely. There's a big thing in the medical industry of, avoid salt. And while that is a good suggestion and can cause some health issues, the problem is that if you don't have enough salt in your diet, you're going to create, issues also. We've got, we talked about the muscles. I made a list to make sure. So electrolytes help you stay hydrated. They'll help your bones be strong. That's the calcium. Your regular heartbeat. So I heard a story one time of a guy that he woke up in the middle of the night. He was in a sweat. His heart was racing. He thought he was having a heart attack. This guy was a big runner, avid marathoner. And he went into the hospital because he's thinking, "I'm having a heart attack, I'm dying." And they told him, "It's not that. It's your electrolytes are out of balance because you've been running so much. You've been drinking water because you figure, oh, I'm dehydrated." But the problem with the dehydration is that if you only drink water, like you said, it's not going to solve all of the problems.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're all for water, but it's the balance. Like you said, you have to balance that. Just eating a banana, a little bit of salt, and a glass of milk is not going to cut it.
Right. Absolutely.
And I like your idea too about the headaches too. That's a great point, that the electrolyte imbalance for headache and migraine patients would be great to, to try. I tell a lot of people, like, just try it and see if it works. What's it going to hurt,
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, and I tell all my clients with anything, whether we're talking about something for your nutrition or we're talking about, some sort of new movement that you're doing, you have to try it out to see if it's going to help. And for some people, like I said, it's been game changers. And they're like, man, I will use this every day. I myself use it every single day. And then there's some people that are like, oh, it tastes funny or it's too salty or whatever, and try a different product. So yeah, definitely try it.
I know Laura gave me some of hers to try, and it was salty, so I cut it a lot with water. But the whole point is that, like, you're getting it throughout the day, and there's so many, like you said, different electrolytes. I think one thing, like, that I'm sure you'd agree with is we need to avoid the sugars in the electrolytes, in the electrolyte powders. Like, that's not what we're after. We're not after all the sugar and the fructose added.
Absolutely, and that's a great point, in that you'll hear people say, oh, these athletes go drink Gatorade, or you see all those sports commercials for that stuff. Again, the idea behind them is great, that you need to balance out your electrolytes, but you add that sugar in there and you are doing your body much more harm than you are good. And so finding something that gives you the electrolytes, that has a pleasant flavor, and that is actually going to not give you that sugar crash is really big and is helpful. So definitely keep that sugar out of there. That's a really good point.
We were chatting the other day too about some healthy snack ideas, as I was picking your brain.
Yeah.
Give us some of your tips that you have your clients, or you tell your clients to eat when they're just like, you just want a snack.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think a lot of that really depends on kind of where you're at in your nutrition. If you're dieting, if you're doing keto, if you're doing intermittent fasting, there are so many different ways to eat right now. But one thing that I tell women especially is we tend to not eat enough. And so often I'll have clients come to me and be like, I'm eating healthy, I'm working out, like, I don't know what's going on. I was losing weight and now I've just completely plateaued. And so often I have to tell them, you know what, it's probably you're not eating enough. Because for whatever reason, we get that in our mind that, oh, calories in, calories out, that's kind of the basic, like, yes, if you burn more than what you take in, you will lose weight. Unfortunately, especially for women, there's so much more that goes into it. You've got your hormones and your sleep and your stress and all that. And so I always try to give them some healthy snack options, like you said. So I love things like nuts. If you are a woman that suffers with any sort of thyroid issue, having one Brazil nut a day will literally help your thyroid, which is crazy. I mean, it's one of those things that they've done research on it. I'm like, just one nut, like, that's pretty simple. But things like nuts, almonds, walnuts, obviously not the ones coated in sugar that are really tasty that we get at the state fair.
Not the honey roasted, boo.
But then also things like full fat dairy, cheese is great. Avocado, that's kind of the buzzy thing right now too, avocado toast, but having some avocado, something that's high in fat, but also really getting your protein in there. So I think it's weird when we think about snacks, a lot of times we think of all the processed stuff, things that you can grab quickly. But I try to have my clients cut up fruits and veggies and meat even, and just keep it in their fridge so that it's really easy to go. Even just putting it in one of those little Ziploc bags so that it feels like it's a grab and go snack, even though it's way better for you. So when it comes down to snacks, I say the more protein, the better, because it fills you up, it gets you those calories. And more often than not, especially for women, we're needing those extra calories.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's so interesting about the Brazil nut. I mean, those are kind of a larger nut, in the whole family of nuts, but still, that's just crazy. One nut.
Yeah.
Also, can you tell us about your new workshop that you're going to be doing called Wellness Wednesday Workshops?
Yes. So normally when I work with patients, it is just a one-on-one coaching type experience. And so we'll just do sessions individually, kind of like this over Zoom, and we chat about stuff and kind of develop a plan individually. But I've had a lot of people ask for just some of the basic information, like, hey, I'm starting out where do I go? What do I do? And so I developed a workshop that is starting this fall, the first annual, and it is a 4-series workshop. Each workshop will be 3 hours long, and we'll cover different topics. So we're going to talk about nutrition in one of them. We'll talk about movement. We'll talk about sleep and stress. And those will each be individual topics. And the thing I'm super excited about is each class workshop, we're going to have a gourmet lunch provided for you, and we're going to do a cooking class. So not only do you kind of get some of the nutritional information, but we're going to teach you exactly how to use it, give you recipes to use, to try out, all that stuff.
Yeah. That it's more interactive. I love it. I love that.
And it is local. So it's for the local people. It's in Zionsville. It happens to be at my church, but it's just it's open to everybody. But yeah, so if you're around the Zionsville area, like I said before, I can post a link to it in the comments when we're done here. And if you have questions about it at all, but bring your friends. It's going to be, because we're doing this cooking class, we're trying to limit the numbers just so that we want it to be intimate, so you can ask questions and really get a lot out of it. The idea behind it is, I don't want to just do this workshop where you come and you get a little information and it's nothing that you can use. I want actionable steps for you for when you leave. So if you are just starting on your nutrition journey, or maybe you are into it a bit, but you feel like you need some more tips, like that's what this is for.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. We'll be eating and cooking, and I love it. Do you know what we're going to be cooking yet?
So my chef hasn't filled me in exactly on what we're doing, but the idea behind all of it is that we are going to do meals that are kind of family friendly. So that I come with, my 6 kids, I really need something to be able to cook for them at night. And we want it to be kind of family friendly, but easy stuff too, that you don't have to be like a professional chef to make.
That's funny. I was going to say at the end, my fun fact about you is how many kids that you have, but you already said it.
Sorry, I spoiled it. Oh gosh.
Well, awesome. Laura, is there anything else that you want to tell us about snacks or electrolytes or just healthy living in general?
I think that the biggest thing, aside from the snacks and just healthy living in general, is just taking that first step, coming in, whether it's to see a chiropractor or to see a health coach. I think very often, especially with moms, and like I said, I spoiled the moms thing here, but as a mom of 6, we're so bad about taking care of ourselves. And I think that just taking that first step where you are being a little vulnerable and saying, I need help. I realize that I know where I want to get, but I don't really know how to get there. And getting people on your side and getting a team behind you to really help you get to where you want to get. That's kind of what I'm all about. And, like you guys there, I want people to be well, and I want them to feel good. And I think that if we can start with moms and get them feeling well, get them cooking healthy things, then that's just going to trickle down to their kids. And, that's what it's all about, making everybody well and healthy.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I look forward to your Wellness Wednesday workshops.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Hillary. It was so nice to chat with you, and hi to all of your fans out there. Yay.